Yeah, you read the title correctly. They stole my work. Hello, my name is Veronica, aka Vespertilio. I am an Italian comic book author, tarot and oracle deck creator, and your spooky art teacher.
It's me again, yours truly.
So yeah, they were selling a fake unauthorized edition of my tarot deck on websites such as Aliexpress. They stole my work. For those of you who don't know, on such platforms there are different shops, I guess, that sell different products. And so yeah, few shops were selling this fake edition of my tarot deck. Others already had removed the listing, but I managed to find one for this video. What? Huh, you noticed it? Yes, my glasses are different. So yeah, those of you who've been following me for a while might have noticed my brand new glasses. You know, my little kind of office siren glasses are my signature look, and I actually want to talk about this in one of my next videos. The way I discovered my fashion style kind of went along with the discovery of my current art style. I've never been a contact lenses girly. I used to wear contact lenses when I did theater. I really struggled to start loving being a person who wears glasses, and when I discovered this kind of aesthetic and I discovered it would fit me and that it would also feel very authentic to me, yeah, that was like the match. Finally, I had the chance to expand my Office Siren corporate goth glasses collection. These aren't the only new glasses I got. I got 4 in total. Sorry, I have to show this to you because I'm obsessed. These are my favorite ones, but I also really adore these other 3 I got. This one is so Beetlejuice coated with the bright green and the black. I also love how the frame looks on my face. These are so cool. It kind of leaves this part of my face really open and clean, and they also look really, really chic. These ones are exquisite and so spooky. They have this incredible spiderweb pattern. Oh my god, look at that. I'm obsessed! And getting back to the ones I'm wearing today, I mean, do we even have to talk about it? I am obsessed. These ones are so Bayonetta coded. I really adore these glasses. You're going to see me experiment a bit more with my look in future videos, and I'm so happy about it. It's going to be so much fun. By the way, the brand of these glasses is Vooglam, and they were kind enough to send me these 4 glasses. And one thing I really appreciated about this brand is that when they reached out to me, they had picked themselves this collection because they thought it would suit not only my fashion style but also my art style. Awesome job. If by any chance these glasses caught your attention, I have a little gift for you. Vooglam actually gave me a discount code for my community, so if you'd like to get your hands on your next pair of glasses by Vooglam, you can use my code VES20 to get 20% off your next order. And thank you again, Vooglam, for helping me expand my collection. I've been in Scotland. I was in Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago with my sister, and I went visiting the Black Moon Botanica shop. I gifted them one of my little homemade prints. We were chatting about my work, and one of the lovely ladies who were working there looked up my tarot deck, and the first result that came up was an Aliexpress link. And that's how I found out. In front of the whole shop. I admit I played it really cool right there because I honestly felt kind of flattered. I mean, does that mean that I am famous enough that my work gets stolen? But of course, this is something wrong. I immediately told my publisher, and so it is something that it's been taking care of. With that said, let's travel back in time and see my live reaction at the unboxing of this deck. Okay. Wow. Okay, I appreciate that. They have. Okay, honestly, if I have to be honest, I thought this would look better. Silly of me. I thought this would look way better. So they had put little, I don't know, foam pieces to protect the edges, which I appreciate. I'm sorry if I'm laughing. So yeah, let me just take. I genuinely thought this would look way better. Welcome back. So let's see what this is about. This is the original box. It is a really high quality box. I don't know if you can see, but it is also a little textured. Let me move this. The design of the box itself is pretty peculiar, and here we have the name of my tarot deck and my name, and here's my publisher's logo. On the back we have all of the information with the languages available, and inside you're going to see there is a whole booklet. Now for the fake one, I already have seen the cards, and the cards themselves are not that bad. There are major differences, but it's not that bad. I don't understand why they had to stretch the illustration on the front. Also, as you can see, it is really shiny cardboard for the box. Let me just cover this. So they don't provide a booklet, of course. There is a QR code right here that you should scan for your card meanings. Now, I won't use that QR code, and I don't recommend you do that either, because I've heard stories of people stealing data from you when you use this kind of sketchy QR codes, so let's just not think about it. For the rest, they basically copied everything, but they removed all of my publisher information, and also I don't know why they removed this line that says 78 cards with instructions. Maybe because there are no instructions inside the box itself. But one thing that I found really funny is that it says numbered and limited edition even on the fake ones, and I can spoil this to you. There's no card with the numbered copy. Of course, that would have been kind of messed up, but no, there's nothing like that. Now, this is just for fun, of course. I know everyone can tell those are two pretty different editions, but I know and I truly believe that there are people that could buy this cheaper edition thinking this is an authorized one, but it is not, unfortunately. This is stolen work. Let's see how they look inside. So this is the original limited edition of my tarot deck. When you open it, inside we have the booklet. So this booklet contains 5 languages in total. I wrote the meanings of the cards in Italian, and then they were translated into the languages that were decided by my publisher, basically. Yes, I wrote the booklet, and so I wrote my interpretation of the meanings, of the canonical meanings of the 78 tarot cards, major arcana, minor arcana. But because this is another issue that has surfaced in the past months, I am not a tarot reader. I read tarot for myself, of course, but I am not a tarot reader. I do not offer tarot reading services. It has come to my attention that there are people out there pretending to be me and trying to scam my community, giving them tarot readings and then right after asking for payment. First, I'll never message you and ask for money. I do not offer such services, so please be careful and do not trust anything like that. Even if it's my name, even if it comes from my official profile, if that happens, be 100% sure I've been hacked, because there's no way I'm going to do something like that. Also, I want to quickly touch on this. Tarot cards are just a tool. Tarot decks in general are such a wonderful piece of art that can be used for self-exploration. One thing I always say is that you don't have to believe in anything to read tarot, because you can use tarot cards even just on a psychological level. You can use tarot cards for shadow work, which can sound woohoo, but it is really not. Cards are just a tool. If you give a chef a knife, they will cook a meal and feed people. and it will most probably be a delicious meal. If you give that same knife to a bad person, they could use that knife to harm people, to hurt people. That's the same with things like this. There will be people who will use tarot decks and do no good with them and try to scam people and kind of ruining the reputation of this wonderful thing that we have in so many different cultures. It is not an evil tool at all. It is not something that it has to be used to scam people or to do bad things. So one thing I highly recommend, and I'm not by any means recommending you my tarot deck, but I recommend anyone who's interested in tarot, who maybe wants to approach a serious and legit tarot reader for a reading, please, before you do, get yourself a classic tarot deck. So maybe the Visconti Sforza tarot deck or the White Smith Rider, which is such a classic, and it has all of these canonical meanings impressed in each and every illustration of each card. Get yourself one of those and study the cards yourself. There's a saying, a legend, that you have to be gifted your first tarot deck. That's not true. You can get your own tarot deck. Get yourself a deck, study the meaning of each card, and you'll be able to be 100% sure that you're not being scammed when someone is giving you a reading. You'll be able to tell if someone is genuinely using this craft, okay, or if someone is just a scammer. So yeah, I wanted to do this little premise about tarot decks because I think that is really important. With that said, inside, as I said, we have our little booklet, very cute, and inside there's actually an original illustration. There's also another one, I believe, yes, because at the end of all of the meanings, we have a little reading example of a free card reading, and there's Machijan. It is also pretty chunky, and usually when I do signing sessions for my tarot deck, in this page right here, I draw a little sketch of Vespertilio and I sign it for you. Inside, I have the thank you card of my publisher, which is again Lo Scarabeo. Then we have this little extra card, business card for my publisher. Then we have this extra card that just shows the illustration of the upper part of the box, very cute, and we have the back. As you can see, it has kind of a matte finishing. It's not soft touched though, so they don't get dirty or anything like it. They feel really, I love this deck. I swear when I received this, you can see the video by the way, I'll link it somewhere here, but when I received this copy, my first copy of my tarot deck, I was so excited about the quality. The quality is insane. And so yeah, this is the card where you have the information about the line of which my tarot deck is part of, which is Horizons, and then this is copy 0. This is basically the OG copy of my limited edition tarot deck. Here you have your number written by hand in this section right here, and then we have the cards. Right now they're not in order, but yeah, luckily we have the first one right here. We have the Fool, which is one of my favorites, and fun fact, these are my cats. It's Mary and Pipina. Just to show you how one of the cards looks like. The cards are not like excessively thick. You can still shuffle them pretty easily, but they are pretty sturdy, and so the deck is pretty chunky. Let's see the fake ones. Now, as I said, the cards themselves are not as bad as the box. It's not really selling them for me, okay? The illustration kind of got messed up in this, I don't know, redesigning process. Of course, there is no booklet, there is no limited edition card, but they managed to copy this card right here, which is the card with the main illustration, as you can see. I'm doing this just because there's a little too much light coming this way, so you can actually see how they look like. They're significantly smaller. I think these are standard playing cards size, while this is regular tarot deck cards size. In order to fit the cards onto this size, they had to stretch them all. It doesn't look that bad, honestly, but if you have the original one, you can tell. They don't feel that bad either. They're thinner and they bend pretty easily in comparison. Yeah, this looks chunkier. I believe it's because the cards are a bit more heavier in terms of cardboard, to be exact. It's not that bad, it's just that they had to stretch them because of course they wouldn't use a regular tarot card size. They don't feel awful. As you can see, it is really shiny cardboard, so they kind of feel a bit plasticky when you shuffle them. Let me quickly show you how these two look in comparison. As you can see, I think this is a bit more saturated and they're also a bit stretched. Another thing that you can see is that the border has been cut pretty roughly, and so these two sides look pretty different. This is the Empress. I love her so much. Let me see if, yeah, this looks a bit lighter. It is also like it's a bit washed off, like they have a blurry effect on top. I have to be honest, I had already filmed this review, but I figured I had been a bit too harsh on this deck. Those I've confronted to talk about this, they all told me, Veronica, what are you talking about? They basically stole your work, you don't have to be kind. It's not being kind, I want to be honest. I don't want to be mean just because they stole my work. I want to genuinely show you what are the differences. If you get to buy this, you're being scammed. So I want you to recognize which is the legit one and which is the fake one, basically. You can read the drawing much better in the regular ones. It's way more clear and the lines are way more crisp. Also, the thinner hatching is way more visible than it is on the fake ones. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it is pretty evident that this one is clearer. So this is the tower from my tarot deck and this is from the fake one. Again, they stretch them a little and they look a bit lighter and less clear to read. But again, the box looks terrible in my opinion, but the cards are not that bad, which I have to be honest, even though you get the fake ones, at least you can see that I did a good job. While if you look at the box, it seems like I really messed up the box for my tarot deck. Speaking of, another thing I was really surprised of is that they kept my name. Usually they also remove the name of the creator. I really need to put them back in order. I'm not mad about this, if I have to be honest. I'm kind of reluctant to say this, but I actually felt a bit flattered about this matter. Of course, the main problem with this kind of things is one, that you're stealing my work, but I think most importantly, the cheaper you get it, the more you can be sure someone has not been paid for their job. And that is pretty bad. And speaking of, this was already being sold for incredibly cheap. I think this was being sold for like 5 or 4 euros, but because I had bought this with a new account, I got an extra 70% off and I ended paying this 93 cents and I didn't even have to pay for shipping. On one hand, that is awesome because I got them basically for free. On the other hand, that is extremely messed up because that means there's a bunch of people who weren't paid for their work. And that is pretty messed up. Now, before closing this video, there's another thing that I really want to say. These kind of things are proof that people are being taken advantage of. And I'm not by any means talking about just us creators or about the people who buy the fake ones without knowing. I'm talking about all of the people who are being taken advantage of in this kind of industry. That is the main thing, that it's really messed up. But with that said, I want to say this. If you're here watching this video and you're one of these people who created this, who contributed to stealing my work, yeah, shame on you. The real deck costs around 30 euros. So it is way more expensive. But again, you pay and you get what you pay for. You can find them secondhand, by the way, because on Vinted, if you're from Europe, you can find them on Vinted. People are reselling these. I respect if you get them secondhand, but if you could afford this and you choose to pick this because whatever, I don't care about the creator, I don't care about the people who are not being paid in all of this. Shame on you as well. But I remember how it was to be a broke kid. I remember being 15, or even when I was at university, and I would go on in these shops, in these bookstores, and find gorgeous graphic novels, and I just wanted to get them. And I remember looking at the price, and I remember 15-20 euros being too much, being something that I had to really consider. I remember not being able to afford each and every piece of art I wanted. So if you're a broke kid and you love my work and you genuinely just want to have a piece of my work, but this is too expensive for you, you can't afford this, and you innocently decided to get this one, I will never blame you. I will never shame you. No worries, really. We're good. We're okay. I really wanted to say this. With that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had fun coming along in this, whatever this was. I really hope things like this will stop happening in the future. Also, one thing I want to say is that this might be sold out. So the 4,000 copies of my tarot deck could be sold out. I had been told that the deck was almost sold out a few months ago, and yesterday I had to write an email and share a bunch of information about my work, and I had to include a link to my deck, and on my publisher website it said sold out. So whatever is the case, I know for sure that a lot of those were sold, web purchased. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting my work, for supporting my baby. I really hope you love it as much as I do. This was really created with so much heart and so much passion. So thank you all so much for contributing to the success of my very first tarot deck. I am so grateful. If you like my brand new glasses, my brand new Office Siren Corporate Goth collection, make sure to check Vooglam at the link in my description, because their glasses are just insane. I couldn't stop looking at myself in the monitor because I'm so happy and grateful for this. So go check them out. If you like my art and work and would like to see more of it, consider checking all of my social media platforms. If by any chance there's more copies available, you can get my very first tarot deck, Vesper Tarot, at the link in my description. And thank you again so much for all of you who supported my work already. And with that said, if you stayed till this point, thank you very much. I will see you very soon with more art videos. In the meantime, let's make art. Bye.